Stugatz here for Dollar Shave Club. You heard me talk about the amazing shave I get from my Dollar Shave Club razor, especially when I use it with their Dr. Carver shave butter. Well, I'm here to tell you I'm never giving up my membership. In fact, I'm adding even more DSC products to my daily routine. I love them that much. They are fantastic. Everyone on the show uses them. Dollar Shave Club makes products for your hair, face, skin, shower, everything you need. They have me looking and feeling amazing, and it's all their own original stuff. That's what I love most about it. It's amazing. They only use the finest premium ingredients, and they deliver it to you just like they do their razors. That means no more annoying trips to the store, cruising up and down aisles, looking at shelf upon shelf of what the hell is that and what do I do with this? I use Dollar Shave Club for almost everything. Razors, body cleanser, hair gel, and yes, even butt wipes. DSC has you covered head to toe. And now's a great time to give Dollar Shave Club a try. You can get your first month of their best razor along with travel-size versions of shave butter, body cleanser, and yes, even butt wipes for just $5. After that, replacement cartridges ship for just a few bucks a month. It's the DSC starter set. It is awesome, and it's yours for just $5 exclusively at dollarshaveclub.com/Dan. That's dollarshaveclub.com/Dan.
Hello, I'd like to deposit this to checking.
Fate is a fickle master.
What?
The future is uncertain.
Okay, and what's my account balance?
The horizon is cloudy. I see a long, treacherous voyage filled with great peril.
Look, can I just get a deposit slip or something?
A fortune bank teller. Surprising. What's not surprising? How much you could save by switching to Geico.
I see a yellow-eyed serpent and a low APR.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
Don Le Batard.
Have you guys heard this story? Bas Rutten fighting a dog?
Well, I've never heard of Bas Rutten, so.
Bas Rutten's been on the show, Stugatz. The idea that you've never heard of him, he's been on the show several times.
Stugatz.
Is that B-O-Z?
It's B-A-S.
Yes.
B-A-S. All right. I was, because there's Boz Skaggs.
Boy, you guys are dragging this thing right into the quicksand.
Well, why are you pronouncing it Boz, though?
Right.
Probably like Baz or something.
Exactly.
Bass.
B-A-S, right?
Yeah, Bas Rutten.
Baz would connote a Z, right?
Right. Yeah, it's like a Scandinavian name.
Yeah, like Boz, like Bosworth.
Bas Rutten.
B-O-Z.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Continue.
Something about a dog?
What's the dog's name?
Speedy.
Speedy Rutten.
This is the Don Le Batard Show with the Stugatz on ESPN Radio.
Some real tension in the studio right now.
It's hard to believe.
Wow.
It is hard to believe, but we are going to have this out. We are all going to have this out on air in a second.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance, with insurance for cars, home, boat, motorcycles, RVs, and commercial vehicles at 1-800-PROGRESSIVE and Progressive.com. Guests on the Dan Le Batard Show appear via the Shell Pennzoil Performance Line. Chris Mortensen will be there in 1 hour, noon Eastern. And Chris Sims will join us at 12:30 Eastern. Here's your SportsCenter update. Dirk Nowitzki became the sixth player in NBA history to play 50,000 minutes, reaching the milestone last night as the Clippers beat the Mavericks 104-101. Third baseman Todd Frazier, the Todd father, has signed a 2-year, $17 million deal with the New York Mets. And finally, using laser technology, researchers found a vast network of missing ancient Mayan cities that was home to millions more people than previously thought. The metropolis features more than 60,000 houses, palaces, elevated highways, and other human-made features that have been hidden for centuries under the jungles of northern Guatemala. Fascinating. For all the latest headlines and information, tune in to SportsCenter on ESPN Radio all throughout the day.
I want to get to the Cavs, and I want to get to this big Mike Tice story that Mike Ryan wants to talk about.
Oh, yeah. Forgot about that.
But before we do, I want to deconstruct what happened at the end of the last segment. For those of you who don't know, Greg Cody of the Miami Herald is a dear, dear friend, one of my closest friends in the universe, longtime Miami Herald colleagues. And he has a way of frustrating me like few other people in the world because he is so incredibly self-involved, and I bend to almost his every whim. And so what ends up happening is he is just all he's been doing around here all day today is orchestrating and organizing this gala, this fantasy, whatever this gala. What?
It's a gala.
Yeah. We pronounce it with a hard A.
And that's a fine.
This gala that he is doing on Sunday. He keeps calling his son in here. He's not concentrating on the show. Now, I'm used to this. Stugatz is spending the entire show watching Skyscraper previews.
Yeah. I mean, so how can you not watch it? I mean, he's jumping off, like, what is it called again?
Scaffolding.
Yeah, I'm watching it again right now.
It appears this is a crane. This is the extension
I
of a
think it's a crane, a crane extension, and he's jumping off. And again, he dies if not for a prosthetic leg getting caught in a rope.
All right, but let me explain something to the audience, because we have a lot of fail-safes. Greg Cody is from an older newspaper time. This radio thing and the lights elude him sometimes. And he is a smart man, but in some respects, age has caught up to him in terms of media sophistication. All fair comment?
No, not really. The only thing that ever messes me up is the hard network, because I'm not a clock-oriented person. And that's true in my everyday life. I don't wear a watch. I don't have a phone for its time-telling ability. I never ask, hey, do you have the time? Because I don't care about the
So
time.
you're not aware of the number of devices that we have put in play to play defense against you being terrible at radio?
Yeah, I remember the hat clock you wore, which I wish you would bring it back.
Hold on a second. Let's just play an assortment of the sounds that we have in our library that are meant to push Greg Cody off of awful radio.
Show killer!
That's one of them. My father saying show killer the way that it sounds like he's saying chocula or jugular, but that's show killer.
Show killer!
We have the loser game show sound. The loser game show sound to dress up some of your awful. We have the penalty box.
I love those sound effects.
Yeah.
We have the hockey penalty box where we send you away for 2 to 5 minutes. And then at the end of the last hour, am I being mean? I just want to get...
No. You're setting it up the way you need to set it up.
I want to get to what happened at the end. So the time that we end every hour has been the same for the better part of 3 or 4 years now.
Yeah.
Every hour we end at the same time, 54 minutes and 32 seconds. Mm-hmm. It's been this way for years. I wore a clock on my head. Greg Cody refuses to learn the clocks because we're on his time, baby. So he refuses to learn the clocks. But so now one of the other devices that we put in play, because he doesn't know when the clocks are, is now can we make it funny to clip him with the clock? So we had him last segment, but he's so bad at radio that he just stared silently ahead with his mouth open for 4 seconds.
3 seconds.
Before speaking.
I left him with 3 seconds to go.
Before speaking.
Yes.
I was conjuring what I was about to say.
Keep in mind, and this is why I say it's fair to say that technology and modern media is passing you by a little bit. Mm-hmm. You can't just stare straight ahead with your mouth open for 3 seconds when people are expecting words from you.
And they will get them eventually. And they'll be worth the wait, by the way.
See, if they were, we wouldn't be having this tension in the studio.
Correct.
If they were indeed worth the wait.
Oh, whoa, the chicken!
Welcome to Kentucky Fried Chickens for someone other than Stu Gatz.
Why am I getting the chicken?
Because the words are never worth the wait.
Oh, they certainly are.
Never.
If the words were worth the wait, everybody would tolerate all the nonsense.
Right.
They tolerate it anyways because you're charming and doddering.
Yeah, you can't have a 3-second pause.
Greg, you have yet to
You
figure
just had
out.
a 2-second pause before saying my name.
You have yet to figure out. How is this my fault that you can't figure out that we've been stopping at the same time at the end of every hour for the better part of 4 years? How's that my fault?
It's a dramatic white space. When I pause before speaking,
Greg,
it builds anticipation.
Greg, you want me to show you what you look like on television? You look like someone, your mouth was open. You look like someone who was having trouble with thoughts.
I was in the sense that I took 3 seconds to figure out what was coming,
right,
because it was a mind-bending
But it feels
question.
like, had I left you like 5 or 6 seconds, it feels like we still would have gotten the same result. That's the way it looked. I'm not saying that's the case. It's the way it looked.
No, I mean, I didn't know what time it was. If I knew I had 3 seconds, I could have said, Eisner!
Yeah, and whose responsibility is it that you didn't know? Oh, there, we end up there again.
My handler.
Let's talk about the Cavs. We're going to keep ending up there. This isn't going to fix anything.
No,
of course not.
No.
How many years have you been getting clipped by a hard network out?
I don't know.
Your refusal to learn this is astonishing.
Well, not only the refusal to learn it. See, here's the issue, right? Because I know that the audience is listening now. Go easy on Greg. They like Greg more. My role around here is to be the hated one. Everyone else gets
you
to
do
be,
it well.
Yes, thank you. Everyone else gets to be more liked than me. Everyone else, that's sort of the construct of what it is that we're doing around here. And so they're going to get mad at me for what it is that happened there. But what I'm saying, and the reason I'm getting that, and I rarely get that kind of angry at you, the reason is because at the end, you're denying the audience the joke. You're being so bad at this. We are putting in 7 or 8 things to make you to keep you from being bad at this. And then at the end, when the audience would get the joke of you being clipped, you're denying them that too.
Yeah, if it were intentional, it would be a denial. Since it's inadvertent, I don't think the word denial really qualifies.
That's a fair point. But to Dan's point on Twitter, what people are upset about, they're rooting for you. They are. They actually want you to nail the hard network out, but they also want you to miss the hard network out.
Right.
What they want
can't
one.
win.
No. They want one or the other. What they don't want is silence.
No, yes, nail it. Nail
Greg,
it.
I'm telling
you.
you.
Celebrate it by saying something clever and you got us, or you get clipped and you lose. But not silently staring ahead, dumbfounded, so the audience doesn't get the joke and it appears like an old man doesn't know he's on air.
Right. Yeah, that could very well be that it appears like that, but the astute listener knows better. Simon and Garfunkel sang "Silence is Golden," and yet we don't apply that bon mot to everyday life. Don't you find that strange? Silence is golden.
They sang that.
They did sing that.
Don't you find that strange?
Hit him
Or
with the-
was it Simon and Garfunkel?
Put him in the penalty box.
Oh,
right
that
now.
was actually a good contribution, actually.
Silence is gold. No, that was not Simon and Garfunkel.
Oh, penalty box!
Penalty box.
That's a fun.
Who sang it?
Greg Cody.
Get out of here. Get out of here.
Silence is
The
golden.
Tremolos. Wow.
Yeah, it was the Tremolos confirmed. Yeah.
Okay, the words always worth the wait.
Stugatz wants a new boat. Time for some more ads.
My God, what are we going to do with it?
You realize he's only going to get older, right?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Like forever, for however long this lasts, it ain't going to get better. Like this is the descent into hospice. We're going to him. We're going with him wherever it ends up. But it ain't going to end well. And it's going to end on his time, I assure you. There ain't nobody in my life who bends me around his every whim the way Cody does. You know what he asked me today? I'm not even kidding you.
I can't wait to hear it.
Hey, can you have your brother bring me an easel? My brother! A world-renowned artist.
Well,
Cody,
I mean-
I don't know why he needs an easel, but can you have your brother bring it to me?
Well, I mean, your brother is an artist. I think that's a fair ask.
It would be the
Stugatz.
first place I go.
Dan, you would be the first person I'd ask for an easel. I mean, I go to your brother directly, but... Or I just go buy one
How
at
about you
Marshall.
just buy your own easel?
Depends on what I need it for.
Right. What does he need it for?
I
Did he
don't
tell you?
know. I don't know.
The gala?
Probably.
It's the gala.
He's going to... Chris, tell people where the gala can be found. Just your Periscope account? That's where people can find the gala on Sunday?
Yeah, and we'll retweet it from the Levitard Show.
At 7 p.m. Lord knows he's been on top of every detail during the break about the gala. Like everybody, if he paid 1/50th of the attention to our show that he did to his beloved gala,
Done all the planning right here today.
like he's done all the
of it.
planning during the show.
Don Lebatard.
What do you prefer, flat wings or drumsticks? Because I like drumsticks.
I like
better.
drumsticks too, yeah.
Flat rules.
Stugatz.
If people do just drums, though, you'd think there's a bunch of extra flat wings just laying around, right?
Right.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I think more people do all flats, though.
No,
Really?
no, I think more
so.
people do
Yeah.
drumettes. I'm telling you, more
Wait a
people do
minute.
the drumettes.
I like drumettes so much
No,
more.
no, no.
In fact, I'd prefer to do all drums.
Flatten it.
This is the Don Lebatard Show with the Stugatz on ESPN Radio.
Greg Cody of the Miami Herald in with us today for better or for worse. Later in the show, Chris Mortensen will join us, Chris Sims as well. The Cleveland Cavaliers, I don't think I've ever seen anything like this. Can you stop drinking water and put your headsets on, please, Greg?
I apologize.
Yeah, he's having some health issues, man. I feel bad for him.
Right.
Just take it easy on him.
Thank you, Stugatz.
You got it.
Kindness
Yeah.
personified over here.
I mean, I'm worried about you.
And over
really.
there only, by the way.
I got your back.
I don't think I've seen exactly this from a superstar before, where Windhorse is on television. Windhorse has a relationship with these people, so he's not going to say LeBron's not trying and LeBron is quitting. But Windhorse, we have the sound here of Windhorse saying as delicately as you can, and I don't think it's an accusation I feel like we could have ever made of a superstar of LeBron's caliber. What you can assure yourself from a superstar of LeBron's caliber, even as he ages and fights age, is that you are going to get prideful effort. Like
Correct.
that is not something, you don't get to be a superstar of LeBron's stature unless you are somebody. Randy Moss is not allowed to be LeBron James because the only way you're allowed to be LeBron James is if you're giving an effort that the customer can see, value, appreciate.
Yeah, the effort's always there for him. Has always been there for him, except for Saturday night. Because I wanted to watch that game against the Rockets to see how the Rockets...
I saw the same thing happen against the Thunder. He wasn't trying.
Okay, see, I didn't see that game, so I watched that Rocket game. He wasn't trying. Here's the other concerning thing. The players on his team, they're not trying either because they see him not trying and you're not going to care, then I'm not going to care.
But this is the interesting deal with the devil that you make in LeBron's final season, man. If things aren't exactly right to his specifications, he gets weary, and then what you see is this corrosive effect. Like, again, I will remind you, when he left Miami, that series returned 1-1 to Miami. Yeah. It returned 1-1 to Miami, with Miami not having returned 2-0 against the Spurs the last year of LeBron because the power went out and LeBron cramped up. And if not, they returned back to the Spurs 2-0. And at that point, the Miami Heat believe, again, I've told you this before, this is not something I believe. It's something I've argued against the highest members of the Miami Heat organization. The Miami Heat believe that LeBron James, and there's nothing in the stat line to show it.
It's impossible.
There's nothing in the stat line to show it. He had a great finals. They believed that he had checked out. And what happened after that was slaughter. The Spurs played the best basketball you've ever seen, and the Miami Heat, a champion, regal champion, totally fell apart at the end. And what I'm saying is that what we're presently witnessing right now, is a good deal worse when you have Brian Windhorst on television. Brian Windhorst, who has been covering LeBron since high school, saying this.
His play and his focus and his effort level is eroding to levels I've never seen before. He's been guilty of pouting in the past. One of the examples I can give is when his first year back in Cleveland, when he was frustrated with Coach David Blatt and he was frustrated with some of his teammates. He ended up going to Miami while he was on injury treatment. But he was injured then. Right now he's healthy, and that doesn't explain why he is not giving his maximum effort. And I really do think it's a lot about the future as well as the present.
Well, there's not much waffling there. I mean, he's using the word lack of effort, and it means so much more because you know that Windhorst has known LeBron James since before any of us heard of LeBron.
Well, but again, I ask you for this, because Terrell Owens or whomever, actually, I can't even blame Terrell Owens for this because he always worked hard and played hard. This isn't an accusation that you could file at the superstar very often. Give me all the other examples of this. Now, I will say this on behalf of LeBron, Stugotz. I know you dismiss the idea that the Warriors are mentally fatigued, but if they're mentally fatigued, how do you think LeBron feels? Like, if they're mentally fatigued, LeBron has lived where they've lived for the last few years, for the last dozen years. If they're tired, in his defense, if they're tired, imagine what kind of condition he must be in mentally if the Warriors are telling you, we're fried.
Yeah, but Dan, totally understand and agree, but a lot of this is self-inflicted. Like, the reason he's mentally drained is because he keeps putting himself in these situations where it's the final year of the contract. You got to get everything exactly right or else I'm getting out of here. Every time he does it to himself.
But are you allowed to be LeBron James? What I'm asking you guys, because Randy Moss was questioned about how much he cared, how much he tried. Manny Ramirez was questioned about how much he cared or how he tried. Are you allowed to be the kind of superstar LeBron James is if you are someone around those questions? Because Manny Ramirez was a fringe eccentric, and Manny Ramirez was excellent at what he did. But I didn't feel Manny Ramirez was more of a personality than he was this superstar fixture like LeBron James. To me, what I'm telling you is this isn't an accusation I can remember being able to be filed against someone of this kind of status.
Not Jordan, not Brady, not Ali, not any of those guys.
You never question how much they care.
And now you have 3 separate times in LeBron's career where people, I'm not saying everyone, people are questioning whether or not he cared. First time he left Cleveland, when he left Miami, and now again with Cleveland.
Well, what he cares about is getting one more ring. And he sees a dead end right now in Cleveland. He's not even
created, Greg.
But he's not even sure they're the best team in the East anymore.
Well, this is one of the things that I find interesting is this all happening because he is pressuring? He will not give a commitment to them. He wants to tank so that they blow it up. So he's going in the postseason with a totally different team, and he doesn't even care what it looks like. That he ain't giving his effort with this one. He doesn't like the one. Is that possible? Is that within the realm of possibility that all of this is happening because he's trying to get to February 8th and he wants it blown up and he doesn't have any actual power over it being blown up? because he's not signing a commitment. He's not committing to anything. He's got a no trade.
I think even more important than LeBron's commitment in this equation is the Brooklyn Nets pick. And I think LeBron wants them to use that pick to add to the team, and he's doing his best to ensure that.
Here's the other thing. That the Miami Heat believe. The Miami Heat believe that when LeBron decided to get out of here, he was actively playing defense against their ability to land anybody. That they thought they had Pau Gasol locked up, and LeBron got some texts to Pau Gasol, and next thing you know, Pau Gasol's going somewhere else. Like, the Miami Heat thought that LeBron was actively playing defense, and because he wanted to leave the organization worse than he found it. Like, that was a belief within the Miami Heat that LeBron James at the end was trying to harm the Miami Heat, and in this particular case, it's what you're talking about, taking the Nets pick away from them.
There were plenty of years when the Cowboys were not in the Super Bowl where they had great ratings. Is that not true?
The Cowboys
is that not true?
Are guaranteed rating success.
Have there been two? Molly, Evan, the researcher, Max, help me out. Have there been good Super Bowl ratings in the last 22 years?
Well,
I'm with
Stephen A. I'm with Stephen A. here. I think your point generally applies, and I think it's a good one that neither one of us.
It's ruined. It's ruined now with Max and his damn
We
nuance.
only care about Stephen A.'s point.
Don Le Batard.
Our show's brown. We got Guillermo, Mike, and I are brown. Roy is black. Stugatz, Chris, and Cody are white. So our median is brown.
Stugatz.
And the brown guys, when you pronounce it Larrañaga with the Enye, which is just a bit of pandering that he did here, the brown guys make the faces of people who are smelling something bad.
Why?
Because it sounds ridiculous, first of all.
Really?
Yes, but it sounds doubly so coming out of your mouth.
Larrañaga.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugats on ESPN Radio.
We've got a Greg Cody back in my day to get to. We will do that. Allison, we got an update with her. She has been trying to chase down lead referee Sterator. She has talked to him.
Don't forget the Mike Tice story.
We got the Mike Tice story to get to. Stugatz had a great one during the break where he was just wondering what's in Gronk's house. Robbing his house on the Super Bowl, that's the way to do it, right? If you're a thief.
Yeah.
Yes, you know he's not home.
You know that Gronk is not home, and so his house has been robbed, and they've stolen guns. And Guillermo, put it on the poll. You think guns are a good idea around Gronk?
I don't think they're real guns. I think they're water guns.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Like the big spray cannons, like stuff like
That's
that.
such a
Laser
good point.
guns.
That's such a good point by you guys. I had sort of made it something vastly more sinister.
It's a Nerf gun.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yes. T-shirt gun.
But what else is in that house? Definitely. Right. What else? I want to know what else was in that house. Yeah, for sure. A T-shirt gun.
Yes.
An ice sculpture of some sort of a nude woman, right?
There's definitely
the vodka flumes down the chest.
Yeah. Yes. The numbers, there's definitely 69 somewhere in that house. There is.
A giant 6 and a 9 somewhere.
Yes. Gronk's house.
You open up the fridge, it's just 4 Loco.
Do you have any of that Church of Gronk stuff back there? Because you could play any of that at any point and get me to laugh, because we created a whole church around Gronk several years ago.
Turn down for what? For what?
No, it was an actual church. We created a church. We had mass. We had mass for Rob Gronkowski. We had an assortment of things. Anything you want to give me that's Gronk related, I'd be happy to have.
They got those sexy bodies.
How much of that you got? Because I could give the audience this for the rest of the time and be made happy by it. Just all the Church of Gronk stuff where you've got Gronk. What would the church around him look like?
Sorry for party rocking.
Sorry for party rocking. What else you got back there?
Ha 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 hallelujah. Ha 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 hallelujah.
It was such a good time, man.
It is
a fun church,
right?
Yeah.
I mean, we created a whole thing. Guillermo, see if you can find that stuff. The holy water wasn't actually holy water. It was something else. We created a whole set of things around the church. But while we're getting some of those details, let's do a Greg Cody back in my day.
And now, it is time to take a trip down memory lane. Here's your guy, Greg Cody, with Back in My Day.
Fly swatters. Much of what I find that I get nostalgic about isn't so much that I miss the thing itself because it was better than what we have today. It's more that I miss the window of time the thing existed in as I age and the memories of my past run away from me like pieces of driftwood rushing toward and about to disappear over a roaring waterfall. It's that gradual but inexorable realization that our lives are carried in a vessel protected by a layer as thin as the skin of a balloon, apt to burst at any second and send us hurtling to the final abyss.
Wow,
Where was I?
Very dark start to the fly swatter thing.
The clackety-clack of a manual typewriter, a screen door banging shut, rolls of film you had to take to be developed, stamps you had to lick, black and white television, hand-crank car windows, rotary dial phones when your fingers did the walking. Lately, I've been pining for the good old fly swatter and the Robin to its Batman fly paper. It's hard to believe that the common housefly once was a nuisance that demanded our resourcefulness. It isn't a problem anymore because we keep our lives hermetically sealed in air-conditioned tombs. It wasn't always so. We once led open lives. We dried our clothes in the wind on lines strung in the backyard. Inside, the drone of the AC was replaced by sunshine and real air. Yeah. Our living space was so naturally splendorous, even the lowly flies wished to partake. So, we laid out a sheet of stick-em flypaper on the kitchen table, and the bendable plastic swatter hung handy. Those were the days, folks. We took control of our own lives. We didn't need a can of Raid to do our work for us. We silently lifted the swatter, and with swift justice brought it down on the invading, unsuspecting fly before its iridescent wings could lift it to safety. A whack! A splat! A tissue paper mop-up and the swift burial in the commode. The fly swatter held erect as you scanned the room with unspoken delight. Where are you, Mosca Domestica? Who's next? I'm Greg Cody, and that's how it was back in my day.
Yes. Worth the wait.
Yes.
Wow.
Worth the wait, Greg Cody. Bringing it strong.
Well done.
Do you want to hear some more things about the Church of Gronk? Some other details in terms of, because we got a ton of them. We've got so many of them. We got Church of Gronk characters. We've got Church of Gronk practices. Which do you want? Because Ryan Russillo is an altar man in the Church of Gronk. Jeremy Shockey and Nick Swisher are ushers in the Church of Gronk. Swisher is an overzealous greeter. Shockey checks newcomers' hands and wrists for stamps or wristbands, ensuring their partying the night before was Gronkworthy. The Church of Gronk doesn't have a pope. It has a brope. That brope is Mike Ditka. There are no weddings in the Church of Gronk. Ed Hockley officiates all the oil wrestling matches. Kyle Rudolph is the anti-Gronk. He is the false Gronk. He came in the image of Gronk.
Oh, I miss those days.
Jared Allen is an overzealous patron who stands up to testify in the Church of Gronk. Brian Bosworth is a patron saint in a stained glass window in the Church of Gronk. Bruce Arians is the organist in the Church of Gronk.
Don Le Batard.
You decided to celebrate Guillermo's horrible contribution to the show with a hello.
Hello.
Stugats.
That's an affirmation. When you get a hello from me, that's like the equivalent of 5 exclamation points or 4.5 smiley faces. Hello.
This is the Don Le Batard Show with the Stugats on ESPN Radio.
We've got a masseuse around here. It's not really a masseuse. It's Kihara, but it's the equivalent of massage. And Stugats wants one, and his job is not quite easy enough, so I think he should be able to get one during this break. I think he should get one right now.
Like during the segment, you mean?
Yeah, right now.
Like I could take a segment off and go get a massage?
I think you should go get the massage and just... yeah, because we got a masseuse coming around here on Tuesdays to help work out the kinks. In the interim...
Have a good segment, everyone.
All right, I want to talk to Allison about what happened with Gene Steratore And I want to ask Greg Cody what Bill Belichick owes the Patriots fan base.
I can come back for Mort, though, right?
Yeah, Mort's going to be here in 10 minutes. There are probably better questions that I have for Mort than the one that I have for Greg Cody.
Because I'm not missing a Mort segment. Never have, never will.
I understand. Mort will be here in 10 minutes. Chris Mortensen. Allison, you've been trying to get a hold of the lead referee in the Super Bowl.
Just a second. She's coming back from her massage.
Oh, she's coming back from her massage.
Stugatz is interrupting her massage.
Okay,
she's on her way back.
Oh, she's going to love that.
Yeah.
She's going to love that she's, it's not really massage. It's sort of insulting to call it massage, but whatever. Seems to be helping the sore and the wounded around here in this very difficult work environment that we have. Allison, what happened to you with the lead referee of the Super Bowl?
Well, I spoke to Gene this morning. He was great. It was really funny. I said, we want to talk to you about your swagger. He laughed. And he said it has to go through the league, so send something to the league and my boss, the head of officials. And I said, we don't want to talk to you about the game.
Oh, they're such stiffs, though. These officials are such stiffs. They're run by stiffs. Like, they're not going to let Steratore do anything.
So they declined, and they just want to focus on how great the game was, not the officials.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, officials. That's what I want you to tell us to focus on. We want to talk about that swaggering referee who looks like, before he made the biggest calls in the football season, threw a cigarette on the ground, stepped on it with his foot, and then just blew out smoke and said, I don't care what the league office says. I got this.
Yeah. Man's man.
Somebody, I mean, because there was a lot of attitude, and Steratore is an actor, a method actor. Like, there is a lot. He is really confident out there.
He is. He and Ed Hockley would play a good fist fight.
Yeah, but I think Ed Hockley is Ed Hockley makes fun of himself. I'd like to get the chance to find out. I never agreed to anything. I told Allison, tell them we won't talk about the game. I don't want to put an official in a circumstance. What's a catch? What's not a catch? I don't care. Nobody knows what the hell a catch is. He doesn't know either. I don't want to talk to him about it. Nobody knows that. Guillermo, put it on the poll. Does anybody know what the hell a catch is? Put it on the poll. Anybody? Do you?
No.
You've been covering football all your life. Do you know what a catch is?
No, receivers don't even know.
Nobody knows.
No.
How is that possible? Seriously, how is that possible? Do any of you know? Does anyone within the sound of my voice know what a catch is?
It used to be you catch the ball and you get 2 feet down, and that meant it's a catch. But now you have to fall down with it still in your hands. It doesn't matter if you had 2 feet, right?
Then the ground can't cause a fumble.
But only sometimes.
Yeah.
Because if I take a step, I'm a runner.
We're in agreement they're going to fix all of that this year, correct?
No,
absolutely none of it.
No.
Wait, you kidding me?
No.
It'll only get worse.
Where'd you get that info?
No. The only person that's fixing it is Vince McMahon.
Yeah.
He says we'll know what a catch is.
No.
I'll take his word for it.
Yeah.
Do you not feel like we've reached a bad place in evolution in general and technological evolution specifically when the technology is so omnipresent that we are sitting here watching America's most popular sport and none of us know what a catch is?
I know. It's hilarious.
I don't think that there can be a precedent for that. We all love and care about this sport and none of us know what the hell a catch is. We don't know one of the basic rules.
How about this? When in doubt, it's a catch.
No,
that's terrible.
It's a bad rule.
No.
Chris thought it was $1.
During the broadcast, wasn't Collinsworth saying, like, I'm not even going to guess here?
Well, that's what I'm saying. You got the lead broadcaster on the Super Bowl saying, nope, I've been wrong too many times because he got the other one wrong. Because he doesn't know what a catch is. A former wide receiver, one of the best broadcasters in the history of the game, a guy who works with advanced metrics and works in a business where he is funding advanced metrics, doesn't know what the hell a catch is.
How about this? You bring in Mike Carey, and if he says it's a catch, it's not a catch.
It's not a catch. I like that. I like that as I'm down with that. We can't have Chris Collinsworth confused about what a catch is.
My favorite thing is how they measure where a punt went out of bounds.
Yeah.
You know, where they like draw a diagonal line from where it ended up and where the punter was.
I'm genuinely curious, though. I want to ask you, like, what does Belichick owe the Patriots fan base on this Malcolm Butler thing? You benched one of your best players. Yeah. Honest to God, like when Bill Belichick steps in front of a microphone, what does he owe the average fan?
The truth. In this case. Particularly when you're lost.
It's Dan, Stu, and Greg Cody on ESPN Radio.